So I'm curious, how did all this start for you? How did this come? How did you manage to start getting into this field, and how did you come across these discoveries, as you will?
I've always enjoyed the gift of mysticism. God has given me wisdom. I can penetrate a matter. I can understand what would be arcane to some people. At age of 10, 11, I started reading about Nikola Tesla. And at that age, I knew that Tesla was onto something extraordinary. And I looked at his inventions later in his life. I knew they were free energy devices. I knew that Tesla had found free energy. And I knew instinctively it probably wasn't electricity. Now, to this day, people think he was working with some type of rarefied electricity. No. Now, Tesla was building miniature stars. His Wardenclyffe Tower in New York was a miniature star. If you look closely at his tower in Long Island, New York, there's no wires. There's no moving parts. So where's the kinetic energy coming from? The stars. He captured star energy.
Wow.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because I know that Tesla, essentially people said that Tesla was working on creating energy without wires, and that energy could be harnessed by the earth. And so that itself would make a lot of sense that it was the scalar energy that you're talking about. It doesn't have to be traversed on wires. It can just be taken from what's there. Because I guess everything would then have this light in it, essentially.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Okay.
So let me take the audience back. In 1898, Tesla was in New York City. He had a laboratory. Well, imagine this. The following year, in 1899, he moved out to Colorado Springs. He built out there in the Rocky Mountains. He built a tower surmounted by a copper dome. And with this tower that had no moving parts, he was able to create artificial lightning and illuminate light bulbs at a distance. And all of that by way of this tower out in, if you will, the ranching community at that time of Colorado Springs. So ask yourself, why would somebody leave New York City, travel to Colorado Springs over 100 years ago, erect a tower, and start experimenting with lightning? What's that all about? That was the first functioning scalar energy instrument that I know of. And he demonstrated it. And Tesla was able to create artificial lightning.
Wow.
He tapped into the free energy of the universe. Kind of obvious what he was doing. He was illuminating light bulbs. He would plant light bulbs in the ground, and the light bulbs would illuminate under the influence of scalar energy.
Wow, I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard of those experiments before, but thinking about it under, with this information makes it even more interesting, because I've always thought of the concept of trying to use essentially like Wi-Fi electricity, but that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're talking about a different kind of energy.
That's right. That's right. And Tesla was enthralled with this, and he wanted to power the world, and he had some resistance because the bankers at that time realized that this was free energy, and that free energy would have upset the economic order. So Tesla Tesla had to pursue his career without the help of financing.
Yeah. And here we are still, over 100 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still using old, outdated stuff.
Free energy gets talked about a lot. There's been a lot of people who have claimed to, that it's available, and they were going to begin to use it and showcase it, and then magically it seems to disappear. And there's a lot of people that make a lot of that would lose a lot of money if that came to be. So I imagine there's probably some kind of reason that we never see it.
It's like comes to greed probably, but who knows?